What is poppin', people? You got J Bear here, bringing you all JJDL Season 3 draft. As you can see, we've missed out on the past 2 cycles, maybe actually 3 cycles of Wi-Fi leagues. So it's been a bit because, yeah, we missed out first DLC round of leagues, second DLC round of leagues, and now this is the second of the second DLC round of leagues. I think there was 2 in the first DLC as well. So yeah, we've been out of it for a bit is the point that I am trying to make. But I felt like it was my time to come back. I felt the urge, and part of what I had been waiting for was for a rule set that I was like really into, and this league has that, with the Terra rules being something more akin to Showdown with the Terra preview with your Terra captains. However, this league is a bit more conservative with the Terra than the Showdown leagues are, which is fine. Still happy with that, but we've got a good setup, and as far as coaches go, we got a good mix of old and new. Good part of Gen 9, you get to play a lot of new people. But we got some old friends, some goons like John, Obo, D-Ray, Ant, good friends, and then some new guys as well. People who I've never played before, people who I'm just excited to get to play, get to know. Community seems super fun so far, and yeah, I'm excited to play this. As you can see on the screen, we were round 1, pick 12. Which there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to try that didn't fall to me. And so I just kind of accepted that. I was like, okay, I'm just going to take something I'm comfortable with Palafin, because the drop-off after Palafin was quite bad, in my opinion, to mods that I didn't really want to use over Palafin, even though I've used Palafin a number of times. I don't think I've used it in a Wi-Fi tour or a Wi-Fi league yet, so that's nice. Get you guys to see something new on my end, even though I've spammed Palafin a bunch in a lot of tournaments, and it works out great for me, so I'm happy to keep on chugging with it. But I guess I should get into a little bit more of the Terra rules that I mentioned. Palafin is Terra banned, if you're wondering why we do not have a Terra Palafin with the Terra rules that I was mentioning. So Pokemon have a Terra value and a normal value. So something like Reggie-Alecki's normal value is 7, but its Terra value is 20. The Pokemon themselves go up to 18 points, and then with Terra, they can go up to 20. So, this Palafin being at 17, I thought was a steal. I think it was better than half of the mons in 18, so I was happy to grab it. And then, like I mentioned, we have a Terra points cap as well, so only 25 of your points can be spent on Terra captains of your 115 point budget, and that is counting their Terra cost. So, yeah. This Palafin here does a lot physical, which is what people normally think of with Palafin, but in draft there's a lot of good mixed or special utility that you can run with your Palafins to kind of get more out of it than you may on like a Slowbro matchup or something like that. You can get a better Palafin with like Boom Burst, and yeah, this thing having Boom Burst basically just opens up a whole new angle for it. But we can still use those bread and butter Jet Punch choice band sets, and Palafin's great in these Terra formats because it really makes people want, on their offensive Pokemon especially, and on their defensive walls too, that maybe Terra, but a lot of people like to spend their Terra on offensive Pokemon, and especially set up sweepers. And these setup sweepers kind of get invalidated by Palafin if their Terra type is not Water, Grass, or Dragon, aka a Jet Punch resist. So, in drafting, I have that in the back of my mind always. I think a lot of people are going to be prepping with their Terra captains being Water, Grass, or Dragon. So, how do I want to go about beating stuff like that? So, first of all, Palafin, great. Our next pick, not the most flashy thing in the world, but we got Iron Treads. Iron Treads, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, you see Iron Treads, you're like, it doesn't jump off the page at you, but it makes drafting so much easier because it is the second best spinner in the format, only behind Great Tusk, and because it's a good steel type with good speed, because it's good hazards, because it's got that momentum, it's just super duper easy to play with, and that's something that I really value. Iron Treads will be making this draft so much easier, and I was really, really glad to pick it up. It's a good second fastest mon. You do need something, I believe, to be faster than Iron Treads if you want to stay competitive, but it's a good second speed tier to have on your team. And then it's got good momentum with the Volt Switch, like I mentioned. It's got a variety of sets that it can run offensively and defensively to put in plenty of work. I'm a big fan of offensive Iron Tread sets. I think that they are great, and you can get that a matchup where you might just want to run it defensively or with Rapid Spin, but then the Rapid Spin offensive matchups can be good, the defensive Stealth Rock matchups can be good, and it's one of those mons that rarely has a bad matchup. So that's what I was thinking with the Iron Treads pick. And up next we got Infernape, but we didn't actually get Infernape. We ended up trading that right away for Weavile. My buddy Ant picks at pick 5, I picked at pick 12. He wanted Infernape, I wanted Weavile. We didn't think that Weavile would make it to pick 12, so he did me a solid, grabbed me Weavile early, and then passed it on to me later. So where it says Infernape, think of that little Weavile in the back bottom corner, which actually costs 16 points. So we'll say 14 for Infernape, and that'll be continuous on the draft slides, but it is a Weavile. It is our top fastest Pokemon at that 125 base speed tier. Is great. The only things that really take advantage of that speed tier is Dragapult. I think it can go Adamant, but doesn't really matter because you're Ice Sharding that thing anyways. You got Knockoff and Triple Axle back, making it the Weavile we all fell in love with in Gen 8. I got one of the best spinners in Iron Treads, making me potentially more available to run offensive Weaviles. It got Trailblaze, which is pretty cool. Decent like coverage, especially in like a Quagsire match or something like that. So overall, the Weavile that I picked up, I'm very glad that I picked up, and it's a mon that I'm quite comfortable using, and I figure it'll be solid. So up next, there was one Pokemon that I went into this draft really wanting, Terra Captain, and that is Terra Superior. I don't know if it'll be as good as people think it is. I'm kind of giving it a little test, and I thought that Superior would be a great, I thought this would be a great place to test my Superior. It got access to that new Stellar Terra type, which is pretty cool for it with the contrary ability. However, it does need to start clicking Leaf Storm to really get going, but like a potential endgame Terra Blast Stellar Terra cleaner set, if everything is chipped down in range, is a great new tool for it. Because a lot of times Superior does really want that Scarf. It does want to be slightly faster than it is. There might be Pokemon that are faster than it that it needs to speed up. There's a lot of Pokemon that are slower than it that will Scarf and be faster than it. So overall, I think that Superior is a great Terra Captain. However, it might not stand up to the Terra test, but we will see. I bet that the most common Terra types on it will be Fire, Dragon, Stellar, stuff like that. Get that little bit of coverage in between that Grass and Dragon, and then yeah, one more coverage move and you should be good to hit most teams pretty hard. And there are some matchups where you just might want to go Subseed Glare Leaf Storm or Subseed Leaf Storm Terra Blast and stuff like that. And so overall, I think that Superior provides a good amount of utility. And up next, Rotom Wash, Psych, Zapdos. We made 2 during draft trades, again with Ant. So this Zapdos pick I really wanted. I wasn't really thinking about Zapdos, and then one of my friends, Spies, said, you know, Zapdos is great with Palafin, and Burger, another one of my friends, also said, make sure to draft good walls with Palafin, because, you know, something hard with Palafin is you gotta get it in and then get it out, and Zapdos is great being that bulky pivot mon that Palafin really pairs well with, and it also punishes a lot of the Terras that Palafin doesn't like. I mentioned earlier on in the draft, Terra Water, Grass, and Dragon, right? Zapdos bullies Terra Water and Terra Grass, making a great offensive core with Palafin, a great Terra forcing core with Palafin, because Zapdos itself really forces electric Terras, and it can kind of be a liability at times when something terrestrializes into electric, and then all of a sudden Zapdos just can't really do much about it. So pairing that up with Palafin, which is another great Terra Forcer, potentially puts me in a great spot, and nothing really appreciates the combination of Zapdos and Palafin, other than like Terra Dragon, but still that gets Hurricane, that gets Ice Punch, so we've got plenty of ways around it. It's another fast Pokemon, something that I was a little bit worried about. All of our Pokemon right now are sitting at or above 100 base speed. Usually that's not a bad problem to have, but sometimes it gets a little bit annoying trying to fill out those middle speed tiers. So that's just like something that I was considering in the middle of the draft. Up next, we got Diancie. My Steel type didn't spike, my Ground type didn't spike. My Steel and Ground were compressed, so I wanted a second rocker. Diancie's perfect, another great fairy as well, super bulky. Again, something that can kind of get annoyed by like Terra Steels, but I think that Terra Steel at this point is like maybe a tertiary idea for my opponents, so I'm really happy about that. It's got rocks and spikes, so it's perfect. Diamond Storm's a great move. Got access to Meteor Beam recently, so another great option for it. And yeah, overall, the ANSI seems to be trending in the right direction for this team at 8. I thought it was pretty decently priced, especially relative to the other fairy types. So yeah, that's kind of the ANSI pick for me. Up next, I got Dragalge. Dragalge is one of those mons where it's like, I kind of always underestimate it, and then it just ends up being pleasantly surprising with what it can do. AV Dragalge is a great sponge, Specs Dragalge is a great nuke. It has a great defensive typing to handle a lot of meta threats, like Urshifu Rapid Strike, like the Ogre Pawns, and while the physical defense with HP isn't the best, it can be very serviceable and still be hard to switch into with adaptability, or be annoying to attack with Poison Point. So overall, Dragalge, pretty good mon, and it got Flip Turn back. It still has Toxic, making it one of those good bulkier pivots that we can pair with the Palafin. And yeah, I like to talk about how it interacts with Terra. Dragalge, again, one of those big Terra Steel forces. But, you know, people aren't really considering Dragalge when they're making their Terra picks versus me, so that's something else to note. And then up next, I wanted something that would be kind of good as a fire and ice resist. At the time, I didn't really see any good fire types click in my mind, but fire and ice, resisted by the ability Thick Fat. We put Thick Fat on my boy Hariyama, and he fits perfectly on this team as another good fighting type. Well, not another, but a good fighting type for this team, while giving me that fire and ice resistance. It was a perfect thing for my team, exactly what I needed. It's a great AV mon, got a lot of good coverage, got a lot of strong damage with that 120 attack stat, and then potential gut sets. The priority, it's a potential belly drummer. So yeah, overall, Hariyama's great. He can do so many different things. And yeah, I'm excited to use it. The last time I drafted it, I believe I dropped it relatively early on. But I think Hariyama can do great work, and I'm excited to use it. So up next, we were dwindling on points. We had 115 at this point. I know the math won't add up, but because Weavile and Zapdos are more expensive than Infernape and Rotom Wash, our points are actually a little bit lower. We have 10 left. I knew that I wanted a good special breaker. I don't really have any immediate special offense on the team that's really good other than like Zapdos. Or because Superior takes a little bit to get going, Palafin isn't ideally used offensively, and Dragalge is more of a support piece. So I wanted a good special breaker, and then Spectre's running around, so I wanted a normal. So we ended up picking up as our little normal type Vigoroth. Not too much to say about Vigoroth. It's just kind of, you know, it's here. Good potential normal type into those matchups with the Eviolite. Can't be slept by Vital Spirit. It's got knockoff. Yeah, that's pretty much all I really cared about with Vigoroth. A little bulky normal with knockoff. And recovery as well with slack off. And then last mon up was Armor Rouge, a potential fraud in my eyes, but I really wanted to try and test it out. And that 75 speed tier was also something that the team was lacking. Between Vigoroth and Armor Rouge, we kind of picked up our last few speed tiers in the middle, which is something that I am happy about. And then, yeah, it's a good damage dealer. It just sometimes will struggle either with its speed, typing, bulk. It's like 3/4 of the way there in most matchups, and you just kind of gotta figure out the potential set to make it go all the way. So yeah, that is my team that I will be using. I know it started off slower in my talking and progressively got faster, sorry about that. But we got a team here. Let me know how you guys think we're gonna do. Yeah, with all that being said, I will be looking forward to playing this game, and I will see you guys next week for week 1 going up against Darude. So yeah, if you are excited, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment down below, let me know what you're excited for, and yeah, until next time, peace.